Okay, so this video is about boredom, and the reason I'm talking about boredom is because of how useful it is. It's better than motivation, it's better than discipline, willpower, better than almost any kind of system you put in place. I guess in a way it is a system in place that you have, right? But boredom is like a cheat code, is like the secret thing that you kind of need. The only problem about boredom is it sucks to be bored, but that's the point. It sucks to be bored, so you're motivated to do certain things. Boredom is something we all avoid, it's something we all hate, but that is exactly what we need in our lives. We're so overstimulated and so distracted all the time. We end up wasting all this time. And the missing key element is not to distract ourselves some more from any of our problems, to run away or something. The solution is boredom itself. It's the exact opposite of overstimulation. We live in a world of overstimulation. That is the problem for most people. We're just overstimulated. We have too many easy available options for us to just go resort to numb ourselves, distract ourselves, and remove this boredom that we hate. What ends up happening is that those things that provide this intense overstimulation, this intense dopamine, are usually short-term forms of gratification. They are usually self-destructive habits or a waste of time of some sort. Imagine that this time that you spend doing all these things, at the end of the day, you don't feel like any of that time was even yours at that point. You're just like minusing time. You're just taking away time, wasting it. You're literally wasting it. This is the purest form of wasting time, is to just be overstimulating yourself doing something that doesn't matter or is even self-destructive. Your moments when you're going to be most productive usually end up being when you're motivated, but that's such a rare occurrence and that's the last thing you want to resort to. When you're disciplined, of course, that's what you'd ideally want, but if you won't have unlimited discipline, you don't have unlimited motivation, but there is almost in a way unlimited boredom. And this is a motivator of itself. And it's going to make you much more productive than you could have ever imagined. It's just a deeply uncomfortable state of mind is all. And that's exactly the point. It's meant to motivate you. So fundamentally, boredom is literally a cheat code. It is a secret that people are hiding from you. The idea behind boredom is that the things that you don't like doing, the hard things that you hate doing, they may be like they're boring things, right? But the thing about fun is it's relative. If you remove all these other fun things and you leave yourself locked in a room with nothing to do, you're bored as hell, suddenly that really boring thing that you hate, that you've been procrastinating on, that you've been complacent on, that you just really, really hate, suddenly you start doing that thing because you're so bored. And then the craziest part is that thing is actually enjoyable and you want to do more of it. We only hate that thing because fun is relative. We are so overstimulated, we are so constantly distracted that it makes these boring things more boring. Like, these boring things aren't actually necessarily even boring. They're just only boring because we're so overstimulated. And it becomes so dreadful and it's so hard to do these things. And our state of mind is so unable to focus. Because it's just got so much information going through its head. It's overstimulated. And that's the norm. But if you just allow yourself to be bored for at least one day, just as a challenge, allow yourself to be bored. Don't have your phone anywhere near you. Don't do anything crazy. And see what you end up doing. You're probably going to be more productive. It's just a natural way of things that are going to end up happening. And this will fundamentally remove these bad habits that you struggle with, and they'll encourage those good habits. But this will only work if you allow it to work. You have to be willing for it to work. Because there's some moments where maybe you have to use your phone, or maybe you're tempted to just stop. You can't allow yourself to just get away like that. You need to stay firm in this rule, this environment that you set, this boredom, and then you can actually then reap the benefits from it. The hardest part maybe is even staying consistent with it. Then you can actually have thoughts, then you're actually thinking, then you're actually doing things, and you're actually being productive like you want to be doing. And you're not wasting time anymore. The best part is that you're enjoying all of this. It's not like you're struggling really hard to stay this productive, you're struggling really hard to continue working on this thing that you hate. No, this thing is fun for you, you enjoy doing it, because the alternative, and since fun is relative, the alternative is the extreme boredom that you absolutely hate. And funnily enough, our brain absolutely despises of it. It is like a horrific punishment for it, or a horrific state of mind. It's just being bored. It's literally just being bored, not having to do anything, doing nothing for the brain. He's like, it hates doing nothing. The worst part about this constant overstimulation is that you're constantly distracted. You're unable to think any thoughts, you're unable to focus, and you're unable to really analyze your own life. You're unable to analyze anything, unable to really change, to learn anything, because you're constantly distracted, constantly overstimulated, and like your brain's fucked up and everything. Boredom is the solution. We live in an age of overstimulation. Boredom is literally, we need to do the opposite of what our world is right now, and almost a lot of things, strangely, and then that's going to fix your problems of your productivity specifically. So the steps that you just simply need to do is that you need to remove your phone from sight. You should only use it if necessary. You want to avoid really using the internet so much. You want to remove any of these inputs, because for as long as they're there, your brain's going to choose them. But you need to remove those inputs that are bad, and then take in those good inputs, have them in your environment. And then just, you have the options of either doing nothing, or you can do these positive inputs, or these positive tasks. You just allow yourself to be bored, and then you actually start doing productive things that are meaningful to you and stuff. You actually start thinking for yourself, because the last thing anybody really wants, these people who are these large companies, these people who are rich and stuff, they're profiting off you, right? The last thing they want you to be is to stay away from their product. They want you to be a consumer, they want you to be overstimulated and constantly distracted, because it is profit for them. And this is going to continue to worsen your life. You're going to look for more solutions, you're going to constantly keep coming back to this to cope or something, but you need to be bored. You need to stay away from this and be bored. So fundamentally, boredom is the solution to many of the problems that you might have. Well, specifically productivity. If you have problems with complacency, procrastination, well, you can do this thing where it literally forces you to do it. Most likely, you might literally just do nothing for months on end, but that's going to be really, really hard to do. Just allow yourself to be bored, and you will naturally be more productive. You'll naturally do more things.